In a move that sent shockwaves through the global automotive industry, China abruptly withdrew its plans to construct a colossal €3.8 billion car manufacturing facility in Germany. This unexpected decision has left German officials and industry leaders scrambling to understand the implications for the country's economic future. The factory, intended to be a flagship project showcasing Chinese investment in Europe, was expected to create thousands of jobs and bolster Germany's position as a leading automotive manufacturing hub. The cancellation has cast a shadow of uncertainty over Germany's economic outlook. It has also raised questions about the future of Chinese investment in Europe, particularly in the face of growing geopolitical tensions. The move has sparked a debate about Germany's reliance on foreign investments, particularly from China, and the need for a more diversified and resilient economic model. With the global economic landscape becoming increasingly uncertain, Germany faces the challenge of adapting to a new reality where traditional partnerships and investment patterns can no longer be taken for granted. While the abrupt cancellation has sent ripples of concern across Europe, understanding the motivations behind China's decision requires a closer look at the multifaceted economic and geopolitical factors at play. One key driver is the surge in energy costs, particularly in Europe, which has significantly impacted the feasibility of energy-intensive manufacturing operations like automobile production. China's decision to pull out of the German factory project suggests a strategic recalibration of its investment priorities in light of these rising costs. Furthermore, China's move also reflects growing concerns over regulatory hurdles and bureaucratic complexities within the European Union. Navigating the EU's intricate web of regulations and standards can be a time-consuming and costly process for foreign investors. Adding another layer to this complex situation is China's strategic pivot towards Southeast Asia as a manufacturing and investment destination. Southeast Asian nations offer a compelling combination of lower labor costs, favorable regulatory environments, and growing consumer markets, making them increasingly attractive to Chinese businesses. The cancellation of the Chinese car factory has sent shockwaves through the German automotive industry, which is already grappling with a confluence of challenges. Germany, renowned for its automotive prowess, is home to some of the world's most iconic car brands, and the industry is a cornerstone of the country's economy. However, the industry is facing a perfect storm of disruptions, including the global chip shortage, supply chain bottlenecks, and the transition to electric vehicles. The loss of the Chinese factory deal further exacerbates these challenges, depriving the German auto industry of a major investment boost. The factory was expected to create thousands of jobs directly and indirectly, and its cancellation will likely have a ripple effect throughout the German economy. The German government now faces the daunting task of mitigating the economic fallout from the factory cancellation. Some experts argue that Germany needs to accelerate its transition to electric vehicles and develop a more comprehensive industrial strategy to maintain its competitiveness. While Germany grapples with the fallout from the cancelled Chinese factory, Italy finds itself facing a different set of economic challenges. Italy, the eurozone's third-largest economy, has long been grappling with a toxic cocktail of economic woes, sluggish growth, high public debt, and political instability. These deep-seated structural issues have plagued Italy for decades, hindering its economic potential and making it one of the most vulnerable economies in the eurozone. One of Italy's most pressing challenges is its staggering public debt, which stands at over 140% of its GDP. This massive debt burden limits Italy's fiscal policy options, leaving it with little room to maneuver in the face of economic shocks or recessions. The Italian government's ability to service this debt is also a concern, as rising interest rates could further exacerbate the situation. Another major concern is Italy's anemic economic growth, which has lagged behind the Eurozone average for years. Section 5. Drowning in debt, Italy's public finances under strain. Italy's massive public debt is not a new problem, but it has become increasingly acute in recent years. The country has struggled to generate sufficient economic growth to outpace its debt burden, and its fiscal position has been further strained by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Italian government has taken some steps to address its debt problem, including pension reforms and austerity measures, but these efforts have been insufficient. The European Union has provided some financial assistance to Italy, but this support has come with strict conditions, requiring the Italian government to implement unpopular economic reforms. The EU's focus on fiscal discipline has limited Italy's ability to stimulate its economy through government spending. As interest rates rise, a larger portion of Italy's government revenue must be allocated to debt payments, leaving fewer resources available for essential public services. Section 6. A vicious cycle. Slow growth and investment fears grip Italy. Italy's economic woes are exacerbated by its inability to attract significant foreign investment. Investors are often deterred by Italy's slow growth prospects, high taxes, rigid labor market, and excessive bureaucracy. The country's political instability and frequent changes in government also create uncertainty for businesses considering investing in Italy. The lack of foreign investment further hinders Italy's ability to modernize its economy, improve productivity, and create jobs. Italy's slow growth and high debt levels have created a vicious cycle, where weak economic performance leads to higher borrowing costs, which in turn further constrain growth. This cycle is difficult to break, and it has led to a sense of pessimism among some Italians about the country's economic future. The Italian government faces the daunting task of implementing structural reforms to boost growth, reduce debt, and restore confidence in the Italian economy. However, implementing meaningful reforms is politically challenging, as it often requires making difficult choices that may be unpopular with certain segments of the population. Section 7. The Price of Instability. Europe's economic future hangs in the balance. Italy's economic troubles have implications not only for the country itself, but also for the broader European Union. As a founding member of the eurozone, Italy's economic stability is crucial for the single currency's long-term viability. A sovereign debt crisis in Italy, the eurozone's third-largest economy, would have severe repercussions for the entire bloc. The EU has a vested interest in helping Italy address its economic challenges, but finding a solution that balances Italy's needs with the EU's fiscal rules is a delicate balancing act. Some EU members, particularly those with stronger economies, are reluctant to provide further financial assistance to Italy without stringent conditions attached. Section 8. Navigating uncertainty. The EU's quest for investment and stability. The cancellation of the Chinese car factory in Germany and Italy's ongoing economic woes highlight the challenges facing the European Union. The EU is grappling with a confluence of internal and external pressures, including the rise of populism, the war in Ukraine, soaring energy prices, and growing geopolitical competition. Attracting foreign investment is crucial for the EU's economic growth and competitiveness, but it also faces the challenge of balancing its economic interests with its values and security concerns. The EU needs to create a more attractive investment environment by reducing bureaucracy, promoting innovation, and investing in education and infrastructure. It also needs to address the structural weaknesses in its economy, such as high energy costs and labor market rigidities. Furthermore, the EU must navigate the geopolitical complexities of a world where China is becoming an increasingly assertive economic and political power. Balancing the need for economic cooperation with China with concerns about its human rights record and its aggressive foreign policy will require deft diplomacy. Section 9. Shifting Sands. A new era of global economic power plays. The events unfolding in Europe, from the cancelled Chinese factory in Germany to Italy's economic struggles, are indicative of broader shifts in the global economic order. The world is moving away from a unipolar system dominated by the United States towards a more multipolar system, where China, the EU, and other emerging economies play an increasingly prominent role. This transition is creating both opportunities and challenges for countries around the world. For the EU, this new era requires a strategic rethink of its economic and foreign policies. The EU needs to strengthen its internal cohesion, enhance its economic competitiveness, and forge new partnerships with like-minded countries. The global economy is entering a period of uncertainty and volatility, and the events unfolding in Europe are a harbinger of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.